No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, Cal Hope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Former Crenshaw High School star Marcus Johnson is a finalist for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2025. Johnson, an All-American at UCLA, played 7 of his 11 NBA seasons with the Milwaukee Bucks. He was a 4-time NBA All-Star and a first-team All-NBA selection in 1979. Former Lakers center Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony are also among the finalists. The Hall of Fame inductees will be chosen April 5th during the NCAA Final Four in San Antonio. 46 players from HBCU schools participated Monday in the NFL's HBCU Scouting Combine in New Orleans. It was a chance for HBCU players to make a first-hand impression on NFL scouts and player personnel directors. 7 players from last year's HBCU Combine earned a roster spot on an NFL team, including Rams kick returner Xavier Smith of Florida A&M. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you neighbor to neighbor, bringing you resources and what you need to know. For up-to-the-minute info on distribution hubs, help, and volunteer opportunities in the Altadena area, please visit Neighborhood Servants or Pasadena Community Coalition on Instagram. The Wild Seed Collective is offering free grant workshops to businesses impacted by the LA wildfires. Find them at wildseedcollective.com. Fuller's Psychological and Family Services is offering 12 free therapy sessions to people impacted by the fires who are unable to access care. Contact Executive Director Dr. Ted Koss at tedkoss@fuller.edu. Grief and Hope, the LA Art World Mutual Aid Relief administered by The Brick, is offering help to artists impacted by the blazes. Info is available at the/brick.org. On Instagram, Mutual Aid LAN is updating a Google Sheet in real time with locations, verified GoFundMe sites, and current resources. If you haven't done so yet, it's still a good idea to sign up for Notify LA on your phone for fire alerts and updates. Praying, advocating, and standing with you. KBLA Talk 1580.
We stay fly, no lie, and you know this. Hips and thighs, oh my, stay focused.
Ball getting paper, I buy big cars. A-fly rides to drive in my garage. Stay sky high, fly with the stars. G4 flights.
I'm Tavis Smiley. The Dream Team, the greatest basketball squad of all time, demolished everyone en route to winning the gold medal at the 1992 Summer Olympics. They never even came close to losing a game. I remember it well. They did, however, lose a scrimmage, and shockingly, they were defeated by a group of college kids, an unbelievable upset. Filmmaker Michael Talajian joins us in this hour to talk about his new HBO TNT documentary, We Beat the Dream Team. Before I commence the dialogue with Michael, here now the trailer for We Beat the Dream Team.
The International Basketball Federation voted to allow professional basketball players to compete in future Olympic Games and World Championships.
You're thinking, man, like, these guys, took our opportunity.
It was kind of like you're going to be on a practice squad, and you're talking to college All-Americans and potential pros, all 8 of us on that team. We're not practice players.
I just remember getting off the plane. I saw a sign with my name, and I walked to the car, and Larry Bird's sitting in there. And I'm like, hell nah. And then we get out, and he's like, yeah, you better get some sleep, because we're going to bust your ass. I don't think I thought we would scrimmage them.
Best pickup game you're ever going to play in your life.
This is our moment. This is our dream. We're playing against our heroes.
If we lose, it's going to be like the biggest upset in sports history.
We were humbled by the opportunity, but we also wanted to show these guys that we could play. And we were dumb enough to know that we could win.
What really hurt was they were talking trash.
Wow. I hear all the conspiracy theories, and I'm telling you, all of that is convenient. All I know is when the clock stopped, we were up.
We beat
the dream team.
Michael, I thought of you last night. I'll tell you why. I was having a meeting last night, or at a meeting in a restaurant. And I'm sitting there with these people conversing and eating dinner, and I look up and I see an advertisement for this on the TVs at the bar. And all these guys at the bar start talking about this and how anxious they are to see this. This literally happened just last night. I am not making this up. All these guys see it at the bar. I was at a table, but the guys at the bar are looking at this promo on TV, and they start talking how anxious they are to see this, and everybody starts reminiscing about 1992. So I thought I would start by telling you that people are talking about this thing, man.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, when you can kind of capture the imagination of folks, and especially folks that remember that time, with the dream team. And some people have heard this story a little bit, or the hearsay or the innuendo about it, but maybe had never really seen the raw footage of that game. So it ties into that whole thing, and just the nostalgia of it all is just wonderful. So I love that anecdote.
No, I wanted to share that with you. One, I wanted you to hear it, but secondly, I never wanted to miss an opportunity for a shameless plug. So you know me, I got up from my table. Yep. I walked to the bar, and I told everybody at the bar, the director is on my show tomorrow. My name is Tavis Smiley. I'm on. Here's my station. Yep. Tune in tomorrow. You'll be hearing Michael in my third hour. So anyway, if they're listening, I told you, you guys now know I wasn't lying. Michael is here, and we're going to talk for the rest of this hour about this documentary. Yeah, I'm never going to miss an opportunity.
I bet you a couple of those guys at least are tuning in right now.
I hope that's why I want to shout them out if they're listening right now, because I told them you'd be on today in this hour of our program. So let me jump right in and make the most of this hour that we have. There's a whole lot to talk about in this hour. First of all, how when you started researching this, when you started thinking about the idea of doing this, what was your sense, or what is your sense of how well known this story is or not?
Well, I'd say the hardcore basketball fan, right? The hoop heads out there have definitely heard of this story. There was a documentary in 2012 about the Dream Team, the whole Dream Team, about their whole experience and how they put the team together all the way through the Olympics and winning the gold medal. And it was a great documentary. And there was a small few-minute section about their training camp and about this game. So there's the folks that follow hoops had heard about it. But again, that was what? So that was 2012. So, over a decade ago. So there's a whole generation of people that hadn't seen that. And even people that did, it wasn't that in depth. And so I felt like it was fertile ground to explore more deeply. And plus we were able to get our hands on more footage that hadn't been seen before. And so I said, there's something more here. Right. Not to mention there's some controversy around that game. So I really wanted to kind of take that, almost make a court case out of it and see if we can't argue this in court and try to figure out the true essence of what went down that day with the Dream Team and the college kids.
Yeah. If you're on the Dream Team and you lose to a bunch of college kids, obviously you aren't going to be out bragging about this. You're not going to be out telling this story in your appearances. So my question is very quickly, and we'll continue when we come forward. Was there, in your research, any effort to try to keep the lid on this story by the pros, by USA Basketball? You tell me. Was there an effort to try to tamp down on this story getting out?
Yeah, well, at the time that it happened, 100%. I think if you watch the documentary, people will see that the press, right after there was a closed practice, right? There was only one camera allowed in. Chuck Daly allowed one of his videographers to film the game just so he could watch the tape after, just like coaches watch game tape.
Sure.
So there was hundreds and hundreds of press people outside the gym. And once the practice was over, the scrimmage was over, they let the press in. But Chuck Daly had ordered the clock person to take the score down, so it wasn't up on the clock. Okay, so that tells you something right there. And then during the interviews, when the press came in and got to interview Michael Jordan and Chris Mullin and Larry Bird, they all say, oh, these college kids are good players. You know, they have a good future, et cetera, et cetera. They were complimentary, but not one of them mentioned the fact that they lost.
Yeah,
because that would have been you remember, Tavis, how big the Dream Team was at that time.
Sure.
How huge of a story.
Yeah.
You know, this was the first time, you know, Jordan and Magic, these guys have been competitors in the NBA. Now they're coming together, like almost like they're a superhero movie coming together, you know, to fight for the justice of American basketball. So for them to go out, the super team, and on their first day lose to some 19-year-olds, that would have been, you know, international scandal, I think. So, you know, that was in the moment. They were definitely trying to hush it.
Michael, you probably know this stuff by heart. So when we come forward, I just want to just set the frame properly. I'm going to have Michael remind you of who all the players were on the Dream Team, and then we're going to tell you who the college players were at that time who beat them in this scrimmage. I just want to frame this properly so you know all these names anyway. But I want to just remind you who was on the Dream Team, who the college players were. We'll set the stage properly when we come forward and do that, and we will jump from there. You're listening to Michael Talasian. He's the guy behind the new documentary, We Beat the Dream Team. He's on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text SUNNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SUNNY to 200-300. That's SUNNY to 200-300. SUNNY to 200-300.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
I have a dream today.
They said it couldn't be done. They said we wouldn't make it. But history had other plans. This February, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates the dreamers, the doers, and the breakthrough makers of Black History Month. Your station, your stories. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semifinalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You have to remember the state of basketball. At this time, there weren't trades in the league like there are now, and so you would never see Magic play with a Celtic. Are you kidding me? It's the same as like superhero movies now, how kids take for granted that Batman and Superman are in the same movie. and Jordan. I don't think I can explain to the world how big Michael Jordan was. Those songs from him. Sometimes I feel he is like that is that. The shoes, and before it was this cultural icon, he was our icon. Wearing the double chains and the rock, the cradle rock and dunking the basketball. Like seeing him on the court. There was no Instagram behind the scenes of a player in the locker room. We were privy to something at the time that no one in the world was.
That's the voice of Chris Webber, and not unlike Chris, I used to love that song too. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. I used to love that little ditty. They made some money off of that one.
Yeah.
So,
man, 100%.
Yeah, I'm Tavis.
Gatorade had it going for sure, man.
No, Gatorade made some money off of that one, man. The other voice, that was Chris Webber. The other voice you hear me talking to right now is Michael Talasian. He's the documentarian behind this new TNT HBO original documentary called We Beat the Dream Team. In case you've just tuned in, it is the true story. The behind-the-scenes game. Actually, you heard Michael say earlier. Well, if you just tuned in, you didn't hear this. But Michael was saying earlier there was only one camera allowed in this scrimmage. But the Dream Team didn't lose a single game in 1992. Didn't even come close to losing a single game. But they did lose a scrimmage to a bunch of college players, and it is the subject of this new documentary called We Beat the Dream Team. And again, delighted to have Michael on this program. All right, Michael, as I promised, before I get too deep into this, I want to have you set the stage so we know who's on the Dream Team in 1992, who these college players are. Take it away, and we'll jump from there, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Tavis. So check this lineup. Okay, this is. I mean, if you want a murderer's row of basketball players, I'll give it to you right here, right? The 1992 Dream Team. Okay, let's start with the GOAT, right? Michael Jordan. Then you got Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullin, and they had one college player, if you remember.
Yeah.
Christian Laettner.
That's right.
Was the one college player. Christian at the time had just won his second national championship with Duke.
Yep.
He and Shaq considered the best at the time in college. So, I mean, if you want to talk about a David and Goliath story, there's your Goliath right there.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at hearing you run all those names. I mean, I was around then. I watched the games. I saw the team play. But just to hear you now, with all these years behind us, run that list of all them dudes on one team, it just makes me laugh, Michael.
Yeah, it's like a once in a century type of squad you got right there. So, yeah, and then on the college select team, the college team they brought in to practice against the Dream Team. Okay, I'll read you off the name of these guys. But now remember, these guys were in college. These guys are 18, 19-year-olds at the time. They're not the NBA players they became. These were just great college kids at the time. Okay,
Yep.
So you got Grant Hill, Chris Webber, Bobby Hurley, Anthony Penny Hardaway, Jamal Mashburn. Yep, Penny. Jamal Mashburn from Kentucky, Rodney Rogers, Allen Houston, and Eric Montross from Carolina.
There is no way, with all due respect, with all due respect to those guys, man, there is no way they should have been able to beat that Dream Team.
Yep.
So let me stand down and pass the mic to you. Tell me about this scrimmage. Start anywhere you want to start, Michael, and I'll jump in as necessary.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad you had me read those names because it just reminds people of the the mismatch here. Now, again, obviously, some of those college guys, right? Penny, Grant, Chris Webber, Jamal, Allen Houston. Those other guys went on to the NBA, had good careers. A couple of them Hall of Famers, but we're talking going against the greatest. Some of these guys on the Dream Team are top 10 in the history of the game. Okay. And one other thing I'll say, people keep saying, "Oh, this was just a scrimmage," this is a scrimmage. But I'll clarify something, okay? Chuck Daly, he brought in referees and he had a clock. He had a clock and a scoreboard. So when you're keeping the clock and you have referees and you're calling fouls and timeouts, that's a game. In my world, right? That's not just a scrimmage where you're just going up and down. You're not keeping score. There's no referees. So this was more than just kind of open run. So, But yeah, I think, again, this was the first time, 1992 was the first time NBA players were allowed to play in the Olympics. I mean, nowadays people just take that for granted, but prior to 1992, the U.S. sent amateurs, right, college players, to play against, the Soviet Union and all these powerhouse teams that used, professional grown men to play against. And for a long time, the U.S. was able to continue to win, but in 1988, that young college U.S. team lost. They got the bronze medal and win the gold, and so there was a surge of discussion to finally let the NBA players play, and that's what they did in 1992.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that decision, you got to remember they would have sent the best college players in 1992, and those would have been these guys I just listed on the select team. Grant Hill, Chris Webber, Bobby Hurley, those guys would have gone and had a chance to win their gold medal. So these college kids went into this practice with the dream team with a chip on their shoulder. They were kind of like, man, you guys took our chance to win a gold. You guys, we've had this on our calendar since we were probably in high school.
Yeah.
Figuring that, hey, in 92, that's our chance to win a gold medal. All of a sudden it gets taken away. So there was a lot of stakes especially for the college guys. So they went in there with heightened motivation. But even with that, there was nobody that could have even, considered anybody beating the dream team.
Yeah.
I don't care who you throw out there, especially a group of college kids.
Yeah.
So it was a stunning shock, I think, to everybody in that gym. The few people that were allowed in there an eye opener. Yeah. And with all the hype around the dream team, I think that's why they try to keep this story within the gym, at the time, because that would have caused, a lot of people to say, hey, Chuck, what are you doing? How can Chuck Daly, what's going on? But I think Chuck was smart because he wanted to test his team, and he did want to, he wanted to bring in a group that could of good players that would, push the dream team, and that's, they did. More than that, they beat them.
Yeah. Let me go back to 1992, and I'm glad you raised this, and of course this is covered in the doc. But tell me more about what animates this decision to start using pros in 1992. And I guess what I'm asking is why, unlike other countries, we had gone so long sending college players there in the first place, Michael.
Yeah. Well, I think for the longest time, the basketball was an American game for the longest time, and it did spread throughout the world, but for the longest time, I don't know, for the first 50 years of the Olympics or whatever it is, I might get my dates mixed up, but the U.S. won basketball every Olympics, going back to the 40s or whatever, and we didn't have to send our pros, right? We're winning the gold anyway.
Right.
And it was supposed to be an amateur, the Olympics were supposed to be amateurs. But then the line started to blur, and a lot of these countries, the European countries, Soviet Union, they had these national teams with, guys that are in their, late 20s, 30s, grown men. And eventually those national teams from the other countries had gotten so good playing together for so many years then in 1988, the U.S. team, the college team, they just didn't have enough firepower. And so I think that was a huge wake-up call for USA Basketball, for David Stern, who was the commissioner at the NBA at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they all kind of collectively said, hey, we need to let the world know that the U.S. is still the best basketball country in the world. We're going to have to pull out our big guns, enough messing around. And I think it was probably some pride that was there for those guys. And also, I think David Stern was a master marketer as well. And I think he realized that putting this dream team together on a world stage would just spread the game of basketball even further throughout the world, which if you look at the NBA now and all the great international players in the league now, I think that David Stern was smart to have that foresight.
I got to know David Stern, God rest his soul. Just a brilliant marketer, as you said, an amazing commissioner of the NBA, and just a nice all-around guy. We spent some time together over the years, so I'm just delighted to hear the name David Stern come up. It makes me smile. So help me understand, because I'm not even sure I get this. So they decide that the pros are going to play in 1992, but they leave one spot on the roster for a college player. So 2 questions. What was that about, giving one roster spot to a college player, and how did Christian Laettner get to be the pick?
Yeah. Well, I think that was, I think for so many years they had sent college players that I think that was just like an ode to the tradition.
Got it.
And it was just a way of saying, okay, we're going to bring in the pros. We're going to bring in, these legends. But just to give a hint to that tradition, we'll let the best college player, what we consider one of the best college players at the time, to take a spot. I don't think Christian Laettner or anybody involved thought that college player would get, play a significant role in the games, but it was just kind of I think it was just, part of the tradition that went along with it. And, he was the 12th guy on the team, so it didn't really matter, because that player probably, he was going to practice a lot and maybe play a little bit if the games were blowouts, but he wasn't going to be a huge, differential. And I think they picked Christian, like people look back now and they say, well, why wasn't it Shaq? And, Shaq did go on to have, the better NBA pro career.
No question.
I mean, Christian was Christian still had a good NBA career, but if you think back in 1992, Christian had won 2 national championships at that time.
Yep.
He was the National College Player of the Year. The Duke teams actually outplayed the LSU teams with Shaq. And so you can argue now in 2020 hindsight, but at the time, Christian Laettner was considered, perhaps the best college player, one of the best college players in history. So you just have to place yourself back in that time. And Christian also had USA basketball experience. He had played on the junior national teams, and he had been, in that program.
Right.
And I think that maybe gave him an edge up on that. But like I said, it almost really didn't matter whether it was Shaq or Christian or Alonzo Mourning or whoever they put in there. The U.S. team was still going to be, dominant.
I've got 90 seconds here, so I'm going to ask you to set the stage again. When we come forward, we'll get inside this scrimmage, this game, what actually happened. But tell me where this game takes place, when it takes place. Just set the scene for me. I got 90 seconds to do that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the first training camp for the Dream Team. This is the first time the Dream Team got together to start practicing for the Olympics. And it was June, mid-June, I think June 24th was the day of the scrimmage, 1992, on the campus of UC San Diego. So that's where that training camp took place, in La Jolla, California.
So we're at UC San Diego, here in Southern California, where I'm sitting right now. I'm in LA, but in Southern California. The Chuck Daly, who had been the coach of the Detroit Pistons, as you all know, he's the coach when Isaiah and them win all those NBA championships. That Chuck Daly. So he has invited some college players to come in and to scrimmage with the Dream Team. We'll pick the story up there when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIA News. The U.S., led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, is holding talks with Russia and Saudi Arabia to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine is not participating, with President Zelensky noting the lack of an invite. The Fight for Firefighters Act in California aims to address staffing shortages by moving 3,000 seasonal firefighters to full-time positions. Cal Fire Battalion Chief Liz Brown noted that California's fire season now lasts longer than 3 to 4 months. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum criticized the Gulf of America name change on Google Maps as inaccurate and threatened to sue. President Trump signed an executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico, but Sheinbaum noted the name change only applied to the U.S. And Israel is said to receive more hostages held by Hamas on Saturday. Hamas is also expected to turn over the bodies of some dead hostages on Thursday. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, Cal Hope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Former Crenshaw High School star Marcus Johnson is a finalist for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2025. Johnson, an All-American at UCLA, played 7 of his 11 NBA seasons with the Milwaukee Bucks. He was a 4-time NBA All-Star and a first-team All-NBA selection in 1979. Former Lakers center Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony are also among the finalists. The Hall of Fame inductees will be chosen April 5th during the NCAA Final Four in San Antonio. 46 players from HBCU schools participated Monday in the NFL's HBCU Scouting Combine in New Orleans. It was a chance for HBCU players to make a first-hand impression on NFL scouts and player personnel directors. 7 players from last year's HBCU Combine earned a roster spot on an NFL team, including Rams kick returner Xavier Smith of Florida A&M. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
I have a dream today.
From the inventors who transformed our world to the activists who changed our nation, their stories shaped America. This February, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates Black History Month with powerful conversations, untold stories, and voices that need to be heard. Join us all month long for special programming that honors the past while inspiring our future. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Our history, our voices, our time. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
All right, we're getting to the sweet spot, the good part of this story. It is the story of the only game the 1992 U.S. men's Olympic basketball team lost, as told by the young college players and some of the pros who were involved in that game. It is all the subject of the new documentary, TNT HBO original doc called We Beat the Dream Team. The man behind that this doc is our guest. Honored to have him. Michael Talasian is with us in this hour. So I asked Michael a moment ago to tell me about the game. Let me do this before I let Michael share his views, his thoughts about the game, and he certainly has views since he put the doc together. Let me just give you some more sound. These are some of the players. You'll recognize the voices, I suspect, when you hear them, you sports fans. But here are some of the players in their own words talking about the game.
So tell me what happens next.
Well, what happens next was we jumped out on them. They were shocked. We were dunking, we were screaming, we were throwing lobs, we were making shots, and then all of a sudden it was like, hold on, these guys came to play.
It was a short game. I think it was a 20-minute game. We were playing pretty well, but they were playing great. Well, I remember Penny more than anybody because he looked like he's about 12 years old and he was kicking our butt, so.
I think our athleticism surprised him.
We was trying to do too much, make some bad passes, some turnovers, and that was my biggest fear.
It took us a minute to figure out, can I get by this guy? You saw Bobby Hurley started to see, like, oh, I can get to this crease, and I can find people.
They can't keep Bobby in front of them.
Bobby Hurley was a nightmare for those guys because he was small and quick.
I was in a great frame of mind because I'd worked as hard as I ever worked to get ready to go play against them. So once you do that, you have a belief in yourself.
Bobby gave the Dream Team an opportunity to play against that international guard who had no fear.
So, Michael, I love the access that you have. I love that so many of these players, Larry Bird and others, agreed to talk to you for this doc to tell this story in their own words. So share a bit more beyond the clip we just heard.
Yeah, when we started reaching out to the guys that were on that college select team, Chris Webber and Hardaway and Rodney Rogers and all those guys, it was funny because when we reached out, they were literally like, Mike, I've been waiting 32 years for someone to call me and ask me to talk about this game. And we finally got to get to them, and for the interview, they literally, when they sat down in the chair, they were like rubbing their hands together.
Yeah.
Like so geeked up to talk about this, because it was kind of a forgotten story. So in a lot of documentaries, you literally have to pull stuff out of people, right, to get them to talk. This one, man, I literally just asked the first question and sat back and enjoyed. Because this is, regardless of what these guys achieved in their careers and how much money they made, this was like an innocent, like, memory from their youth of playing against their heroes. And I think it's something that was, like, their memories of what happened were so clear because it was such a huge moment for them. That it was just it was a pleasure to be able to sit down with them. They had smiles on their faces. They were telling jokes, and just like school kids, it took them back to that time in their life, and it was really a fun. I've done a lot of projects, but I don't know if I ever had more fun than I had making this documentary.
Yeah. Give me some sense of what you saw. To your point, Chuck Daly, the coach, only allowed one camera in. They were just shooting some footage, so as a coach, he could watch it later. I don't want to color this question any more than this. When you actually saw the footage from that one camera, what did you see? You saw this scrimmage. What did you see?
Yeah, well, I saw the same thing that whoever watches this documentary, it's streaming now on Max, so you can catch it anytime. I saw a team of hungry young players.
Yeah.
Hungry, talented young players that were just amped up, right? So diving for loose balls, getting the rebound, jumping a little bit higher than the Dream Team guys, getting the rebound, going out on the fast break, sharing the basketball, just really dialed in on all levels. Whereas the Dream Team guys, at least initially, were almost deferring to each other, right? Like they didn't want to. No one wanted to like take control, and everyone was so. It's almost like an all-star game a little bit. They were just oversharing the ball a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it took them. That's why I say a lot of people say that were there say, hey, you know what? This scrimmage, this game against the college kid was really the first test and the first time these pro players started to think of themselves or think that they had to become a team, not just a collection of talented players. Like we need to come together as a team. And so it was a little bit of a wake up call. So, I think you saw a young, hungry, highly motivated group versus a team of supreme talent that maybe took these kids for granted a little bit.
Yep.
And anyone knows on any given, I think this is a message in this film. It's a message for anyone that has children that play sports, whatever, like regardless of the odds, regardless of how big of an underdog, if you are prepared and you believe in yourself, anything could happen.
No question about it. Did these college kids have any practice time together before they scrimmage against these pros, the Dream Team?
They had one practice. Okay, again, these kids had never played with each other before.
Exactly.
They had competed against each other in college, so they got all flown out. They landed, and they went to one of the side gyms. And Roy Williams, who's the coach of Kansas at the time, and George Raveling, who was the coach of USC, they were their coaches.
Right.
And they just kind of had them run through some basic drills, some 3-man weave, doing some shooting. They put in a little bit, but very, very basic. And the college guys, in the film, Grant Hill says, man, we didn't really know what we were doing. No one told us we were going to scrimmage. We didn't know if we were just going to like rebound for these guys, do some sets, play some defense. They had no clue. It wasn't until maybe an hour before the game when they were brought into the gym. The college kids got to come into the main gym. The Dream Team was practicing and watch them. At that point, they were told, hey, by the way, in about 30 minutes, we're going to go down there and you're going to play against Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
So imagine the butterflies for those kids.
Well, that's the part I was about to get to that's fascinating for me. You're in college and you're watching Magic and Jordan and Bird and all these guys on the floor here. And obviously you're fans of all these players. And you're about to go compete with them, but these kids apparently were not intimidated.
No, they were nervous, but you know what? these kids up to that point, right, in high school and then in college, they were the best at that level. So those kids have only known success on the basketball court. Okay? So, yes, when they were watching the Dream Team practice and how good they were and how big they were nervous. But once they came down, were brought down into the gym with the Dream Team and walked on the court for that jump ball, those nerves kind of went away, and they were just like man to man, like, we're going to ball out and see who's best. You know, there was just that mutual competitive nature of people that are great at what they do, regardless of the odds.
Yeah. Well, they did ball out. They balled out that day, and they're the only team that beat the Dream Team in '92 in this scrimmage. You heard Michael mention Roy Williams and George Raveling. When we come forward, I got questions about the coaches. So you're coaching these college players. Are you telling them, let's go beat these guys? I'm curious. I want to get inside the heads of the coaches. We'll do that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis and Michael Talasian. Before I get back to Michael, let's hear some sound from Jordan, Barkley, and Magic about this game.
You know, Chuck, People tend to forget that he played, some very competitive mind games, and me coming from Phil Jackson, I kind of understood exactly what he was doing. I think it was very gratifying to Chuck for us to get our butts beat like that because now we had to listen to him. But those kids kicked our butts up and down.
We were on spring break, basically, and then they kicked our butt. After that first day, we realized, guys, if we lose, it's going to be like the biggest upset in sports history.
Chuck Daly was a master. His genius was the fact that he brought these young college guys in who he knew was going to be up and sky high to play against us, and they were going to play hard. And he probably knew we were just going through the motions a little bit. Well, what happened was them guys came at us and blew us out and really was taking it to us. I mean, on all phases of the game. We were just, we're not into it, and we paid for it. Those college guys woke us up and made us play the way we're used to playing, so I want to thank them for that butt whooping that they put on us.
Yeah, it goes to say that you never underestimate your opponent, and I think you had 11 Hall of Famers there who underestimated these college kids, and you never can underestimate your opponent. I don't care who they are.
Jordan, Barkley, and Johnson all talking about the game. It is the subject of the new TNT HBO original doc called We Beat the Dream Team, the true story behind the only game the 1992 U.S. men's Olympic basketball team lost, as told by the players who were in that game. It's all brought to us by Michael Telosian. Our remaining moments with Michael when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
This is an ad by BetterHelp Online Therapy. When it comes to relationships, we often hear about the red flags we should avoid, but it's just as important to focus on the green flags. Think about how you want a relationship to feel, one where your boundaries are respected and you're encouraged to be your best self. If you're not sure what that looks like, therapy can help you identify those qualities so you can embody the green flag energy yourself and find it in others. Because whether you're dating, married, or building a friendship, it's time to form relationships that love you back. BetterHelp connects you to a diverse network of over 30,000 therapists worldwide with expertise in a wide range of issues, from depression and anxiety to work and relationships. It's 100% online and sign-up only takes a few minutes. Find your green flag energy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABC Radio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABC Radio.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found BenefitsCheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match.
See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
We Beat the Dream Team debuted yesterday, the 17th of February, exclusively on HBO and Max. It's now streaming on Max, so check it out when you can. I promise you. You will not be disappointed. It's an amazing piece of work, as is everything that Michael Talesian does. Again, it's called We Beat the Dream Team, streaming right now on Max. You heard Mike. I got just a few minutes left here, Michael. You heard the other Michael, Michael Jordan, talking about Chuck Daly and how smooth and how slick he was. Say a word to me, if you will, about Roy Wilkins and George Raveling on the other side.
Yeah, so Roy was coach of Kansas at the time, and George Raveling was at USC coaching, and they were in charge of coaching up the young college kids. And yeah, I mean, their primary objective, Chuck Daly told those guys, like, your job is to help my guys, the dream team, get ready, right, for the Olympics. And
Right.
so the first priority, Roy Williams tells the kids is like, our main job, our overarching job is to prepare the dream team for the Olympics, get them as dialed in as possible. But today, when we walk on the court with them for this game, I want you to go out there and try to win. Like, we're not messing around here. I want you to just go out there and put it on these guys. And so that competitive nature came out, and they were coached to bring their A game against the dream team.
Yeah. It is an amazing piece of work. Again, it's called We Beat the Dream Team, the true behind-the-scenes story of the only game the 1992 U.S. men's Olympic basketball team lost, as told by the young college players who beat them, and, of course, a lot of the pros. And I appreciate Michael and his team for providing us all that audio to give you a sense of what this thing sounds like. But if you want to see what it looks like, check it out. It's streaming right now on Max. I just got about a minute and a half here before I wrap with you, Michael. I want to just say how much I appreciate your documentary, Cue Ball. I love that story about the San Quentin Warriors basketball team. It is it's a wonderful piece of work that I think brings humanity to those inmates. And I believe that our best work, no matter whether we're filmmakers or talk show hosts or whatever we are, our best work is when we do work that allows others to situate their humanity in the work that we do. And that cue ball piece was just an amazing piece of work. I didn't want to wrap without saying thank you for doing that piece, man.
Oh, thank you, Tavis. That was a one of a kind special experience for me making that film. I opened my eyes, right? My preconceived notions, whatever prejudices I had about incarcerated people. Making that documentary was an eye opener, and I'm really glad that it hit home for you. And that film is still available for people that haven't seen it on Tubi, on the streaming service Tubi. So folks haven't seen Cue Ball, I highly recommend it. It was a special project to work on. Thank you.
So to the audience, you have two assignments. Check out Cue Ball on Tubi about the San Quentin Warriors basketball team. These inmates and their story is quite amazing. Check that out. And be sure to check out the new piece from Michael Talesian. It's called We Beat the Dream Team, streaming right now on Max. Michael, you did it again, man. Another great piece of work. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tavis, man. Appreciate, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, and appreciate you spreading the word, man. Many thanks.
It is my pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you, sir. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.